Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot K. and Jose Ucar. Every week we bring the tips, tools, and strategies for you to become a world-class public speaker. We bring you guests, experts, and authorities in the field of public speaking to enrich you and enhance your public speaking journey. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment. And now, please welcome your hosts, Elliot and Jose.
What is up, people?
Whoa! Yeah! Wow!
Oh my god!
Oh, what's going on today?
I think we caught Jose in the toilet.
Speaking Experts
You're right there, Jose. You got a bit constipated.
Wow, yeah, it was. Wow, I did struggle a little bit, but it's all out. It's all out. I mean, the energy is out. So I need to be like 300% for the podcast.
That's right.
So here I am. Beast mode, everybody! Come on.
It's the Public Speaking Experts Podcast.
Woo!
Yes, people, we are back for another exciting episode. I'm super duper 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 duper. Not just excited.
Thank you, people. Thank you.
I am also excited about today's episode.
Elliot is excited, and I'm excited. And remember, every time you listen to the podcast, share it with people that you think can benefit from it. Super important, people, because we are here to help you not only become a great speaker, but
to speak your greatness. That's right. Speak your greatness. My name's Elliot K, and I am a 5-time author, 2 of them bestseller. I don't know, by the time you listen to this, the third one, I don't know, I might have 3 bestsellers. Who knows? But anyway, I've written 5 books. I've got 8,000 hours of living talks globally, internationally, virtually, and non. I work with business owners and entrepreneurs to help them be authority experts and the go-to brand in their space through the use of public speaking. Jose, over to you.
Whoa, what an introduction. I'm looking forward to that book, Elliot K. So I want my copy. You
want your coffee?
Yeah, I want my coffee to read your copy, the copy of your book with my coffee. So CC, so the coffee for the copy, the copy for the coffee. Anyway, I'm actually Elliot. Today I'm going to introduce myself differently because I'm the public speaker with the Latin flair. I'm the Venezuelan that help people speak with an accent to stand out, connect, and deliver their greatness. Not to say that if you don't have an accent, I cannot help you. But today, I really want to make special emphasis on that because I've been speaking to so many people recently, and they also come on the show and, because I've got an accent, I've got this. All of these things are going on in your mind, not letting you become the best version of yourself. So let's get in touch, people. That's me. And Elliot and I can help differently, but reach out, super important. And the coffee is a great place to start. I wanted to say that because you can all do it. If I'm doing this today, even though Elliot will judge me later and say I'm not good. Oh,
not good.
That's not true.
Wait, not good.
I wanted to play the victim, but I played it way too quick. So that card, I played it way too quick.
No. Didn't work.
Anyone can do it. If I can do it, I didn't. It didn't backfire. So I'm just gonna go. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reset.
There we go. Ready for your reset? Here comes your reset.
Yeah, reset it again.
That's the reset music.
I love it. Yeah, good stuff.
All right. As we reset now, what is today all about?
What I wanted to say, if I can do it, anyone can. That's the point. And Elliot has never, ever said anything nasty to me, apart from the nasty stuff that we like to tell each other, but for different reasons. What is today about, Elliot K? What is today about?
Today's about powerful storytelling. It's about powerful storytelling. Yeah. It's about powerful storytelling. Are you excited about that?
It is about powerful storytelling. I love it.
I've got a question for
stories.
you. I've got a question. In all seriousness, I've got a question for you. Ready?
Please ask away. Yes.
What advice would you give to the younger self, to your younger self? What advice would you give to the younger self, as in your younger self? What advice would you give the younger self?
So what advice would I give to my younger self? Is that the question?
I think that's the question.
I would say to him, embrace fear, thrive, go after your dreams, don't stop, face the pain. It's not going to be easy, and yet you will make it. Don't rush. It's another one I would say. There is no rush to get to places. I really like your phrase today. So treat life and speaking and everything that you do, treat it as a marathon. Treat it as a long-lasting relationship instead of a one-night stand. Those would be the things. For me, it's been key not to rush, to take my time. So I would say that to the younger version of me. Be grateful and appreciate the beauty in the people around you as well. Those would be those are the things that come to mind, Elliot K. How about you? Would you like to answer that question as well?
Sure, why not? I definitely say to myself to save more, be more of a saver. I would have told the younger me to deal with his issues with money a lot younger. I would have told the younger me to listen to people a little bit more, the right people at the right time, but keep my own drive and my own determination, my own focus. I mean, I don't regret anything. I just want to be very clear. But I would have told myself that. And I would have told my younger me to develop a wealth mindset sooner and to be more resourceful and not limit myself is what I would have told the younger me. And that I have a ginormous, huge heart and never forget it. But
always remember
where
that.
do you think I was
Elliot's
going
heart.
with that?
Yeah, the heart all the way. Maybe a brain.
That too.
As well.
That's too. Yeah.
So because I know everything else that wouldn't be the case. So cool.
Yeah. So let's do this. Powerful storytelling. What are some of the challenges around storytelling? Jose, Schmozy?
A very common one. Well, who wants to listen to my story?
Oh, that's a challenge.
There are so
I
many.
don't want to listen to your story. Oh, that wasn't a question. Okay, got it.
So who's going to want to listen to my story?
So this is what people think.
Yeah,
okay, got it.
Exactly. So yeah, public speaking expert podcast. So who wants to listen to what I'm about to say now? Anyway, Elliot K. Yeah, that's one of them.
Yep.
And you see, you lost me there. So yeah, are people going to be willing to listen to my story, what I've got to say? Is there value in it for others? And then we go comparing ourselves, and then it's just like, look at all those great speakers and things like this. So who am I here really? So there is the imposter syndrome element. Also, they just sometimes, I love it when they say, well, but I don't have stories to tell. And it's just like, come on. So, it's one of those, but basically, oh, goodness me, basically focusing on the problem. What's another one? Not knowing how to craft a story, because one thing is just to tell me a story and I was born in Venezuela and I give you all of that, but what is the purpose? So creating the structure for your story, not knowing that, it's another one, and how to use it and weave it into your presentation. So I would say those are some of the, the problems I find often.
Yeah, I think that's
when it comes to storytelling.
Really.
How about you, Elliot?
How about me?
How?
Well, I think another one is, of course, a lot of people narrate a story. They don't really tell a story, and I did this and then I did that and then I did this and then I went here. They don't really step into different first person, third person, mix it up. I think the lack of characters. Remember, we're talking about public speaking experts. So it's like from an expertise point of view, right? The lack of different characters, lack of different voices, the lack of use of tonality, the lack of emotional enrollment, right? As in, they're very flat when they tell the story. There's no depth. The pacing is always an issue, like pace and pausing, I think are some of the problems as well. So those are some things I want to bring to the surface. So the question is, Jose, is this: what can people do about it? What are some of the tips we can give people to tell a powerful story?
Dun, 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 dun.
But
I want some more music today.
Can
you give me something else?
Yeah,
I know you've done it already.
Yeah,
I know.
you're kind of going
thinking,
dun, 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 dun. I mean, that kind of breaks.
There's no point. It's pointless.
You kind of ruined it. Now we have to reset. Ready?
Okay, so let's do a reset. That's what I wanted.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I wanted, Elliot. That's all I wanted. A little bit of music.
Are you ready?
So think about when you're... Yeah, I'm ready.
What can people do about it?
Incorporate into your stories places, people, dialogue. And if you're presenting and people are seeing you in person or on Zoom virtually, incorporate props as well. So those would be some key things. Times, tell people, get them on a journey. So that would be my first tip. Over to you, Elliot.
Yeah, the other tip I would give, of course, is find. I always say this. I'm like the structure guy, aren't I? Like all about the structure. Like, what's Ellie going to say today? He's going to say structure. What's the podcast about today? He's going to say structure. Like people are just going to know that structure is going to come out of my mouth.
So
Today we're
should we
talking
turn that one
about
into ding?
yeah, right. Today we're talking about how to build a house structure. Today we're talking about the presidential candidate structure. Like, just know that's going to come out of my mouth at some point, right? So I'm going to talk about structure. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Have a really good, solid structure. Now, there's so many different versions of structures you can use. Obviously, there's the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell. There's something we talk about, the emotional drop, which is very powerful. There's the car chase, right? There's various structures that you can just by Googling, right? That you can simply find and learn. Now, of course, just by Googling doesn't mean you'll be able to give it that depth, but get a really good structure that gives you that freedom to express yourself. Again, one of my phases, right? Structure gives you freedom to express yourself. We need to trademark that baby, copyright that baby, because that is always my thing. I don't know. I just covered my nose, but there you go.
Do you want to say it again so I ding you?
Yes, freedom gives you structure to express. Freedom gives you structure. Now I got it all wrong. Structure gives you freedom to express yourself.
Ding.
There we go. We need to get a sound effect, right? But in all seriousness, world-class speaking, when you do keynote, you want to get paid those high fees. It's the ability to drop a story that is so powerful that it blows people away, that enrolls people to tears. And for that, it's about the structure, right? Structure's like a formula. It's like maths. If you put things in the right sequence, you'll get the right answer. If you put things in the wrong sequence, you get the wrong answer. So find a structure that works for you and allows you to express yourself. Now, there's different structures for different situations. It doesn't mean you always tell the hero's journey, because certain stories don't lend themselves to that. Certain stories aren't necessarily emotionally enrolling, but you can still make them exciting. So that's my one. Jose, Ucar, over to you.
I love that. I love the fact, because so many people say, structure. I'm going to tell a story. And then they tell a story. And then what was the point of the story?
Right,
so
exactly.
Think about the purpose behind your story and think what you want people to take away. So another one that I love the vignette system. So the vignette system are mini stories that you carry with you. Your mini stories that you have rehearsed, you have prepared, and you know exactly what point they illustrate. So then when you need to put a presentation together, instead of, I haven't got stories, no, create a log with your super stories depending on the points you want to make. And then what you do when you have a presentation, and again, different types of presentations, of course, but one cool structure. There we go. Now I just adopted the structure. It
Ding.
Can be you have 3 points. Yeah, ding. You have 3 points, and then you illustrate each point with a story. And right away you have got something powerful to share. And if you think about it, there aren't going to be any memory issues or anything like that, because you've had your stories, which are your stories as well. Another thing, when I say your story, it doesn't have to be personal. It can be someone else's story, or it can be a business story. So always look for things, but think about what is the takeaway, what's in it for the audience.
Yeah.
And make it concise, make it powerful. Think about it. If you're telling your story and you're getting bored, then the audience is getting bored. So be mindful of that. You want to get people engaged, and that's the beauty of a story. Over to you, Elliot K.
Just elaborating on the story thing, right? There are 5-6 key stories. One, obviously your personal story. 2, your business origin story. 3, your vision. 4, have I said success stories?
Not yet.
Success stories. And 5, your credibility, your story of your credibility. And then there's your brand story. Now, your brand story can be an accumulation of all of the above. However, if you're able to tell each one distinctly, then you've got a repertoire of stories to tell. So I can tell my story about standing on a cliff in Australia, looking down with a wind in my face. That was when I got dumped for a billionaire, right? And that's part of my personal story. That's in my book, Power to Succeed. Then I can tell how Speak Express came together, the company that I run here in the UK and globally now, all being well. And, how that came about. And that's a business story, right? And again, something I talk about in my 4th book, speaking from sounds like I'm plugging my books. I'm not, but is how the brand story developed at Speaker Express, how we arrived to where we arrived. Of course, I can tell, Jose can tell the story of his vision, that everybody with an accent can speak freely, and free at last and all this kind of stuff. Ting. So, it's the ability to distill the different stories. But if you're struggling with a story, start with your personal one, right? That's the place to start. But start with a personal one that's going to add value to me as the watchers, the viewers, the audience, not because you want to tell and talk about yourself. It's because it's going to tell me about your lessons. It's going to tell me about adversity. It's going to educate me in some way. So that's what I wanted to add to what you wanted to say.
Beautiful, beautiful. Also, on many occasions, people come saying, yeah, but, in the industry I'm in, sorry, guys, in the industry I'm in, so I'm not going to be just sharing stories and things like that because it wouldn't be professional. Quite the opposite. First of all, remember that as human beings, okay, when we're presenting, whether you're an engineer, whatever it is, your profession, lawyers, you are still a human being, and there is a connection happening at the unconscious level when you share a story, okay? And this is called neural coupling. Our neurons, the neuron activity actually getting closer together, synchronizing, okay? Think about the power of it. And then, of course, I'm not going to say that you go in front of engineers and give them a story of, where you were born, or your hero's journey might not be appropriate. But one thing you can do is tell them a case story, a success story that you've had with a product or with what you do. And I always used to do this with engineers, and it would just incorporate some of my successes with a few customers, in which then I would share how we opened the door, how we picked on the problem they were facing, and how we solved it and the results they're achieving today. You see, right away, there is a lovely structure in there that you can use and tell stories and illustrate your points differently to keep your audience engaged, whether they are engineers, architects, lawyers. It suits any scenario. I wanted to say that because that's very important, and I come across that a lot.
Amazing.
Elliot.
Well, listen, if you want to rewrite your story, your public speaking story, reach out to us. Reach out to me. Reach out to Jose. You can do my influencer test. You can either do it from the Instagram account, or you can go to speakerexpress.co.uk and click on the online assessment and do your assessment. Find out, where do you stand with your storytelling, with your confidence, with your signature talk and everything. You can do my influencer test, or you can do Jose's world-class communicator course, right? So if you want more information about that, just reach out to either of us. In the notes, there'll be how to reach out, how to DM us. There'll be all that. So do that. I think it's been a fantastic, insightful
Elliot,
episode.
One thing, yeah, it's been. And before that, one thing we don't do often, and we're inviting people to go and connect, do the virtual coffee, do this and that. Also, you can invite us to speak.
That's right.
You can invite us to train. You can invite us to train your team. There is the one-to-one coaching that we offer differently as well. So bear in mind, there are loads of things that we offer. We may start with a coffee, with a conversation, with a message, but think about this big. If you have a team and you like the concepts and the things we do on this podcast, invite us. It can be even together, because we run shows together. So, the world is your oyster.
Exactly.
Ding.
So if you want to, I like that. Ding. So yes, if you want to come and speak at your event, your conference, reach out. Let's talk about it. I charge a bit more than Jose, but we can come to an agreement. No, I'm kidding. Let's do it. All right, my man. Let's wrap it up. Final words of wisdom.
Let's wrap it up. Final words of wisdom. Incorporate stories into your presentations. They are powerful. And you get started right away. Think about stories. What kind of stories can I start telling? And create your log. The good stories, and then, the ones that you like, that work well for you. Ask for feedback as well to your friends, family, relatives, partners. Elliot and Jose, for example, we can give you feedback, especially if you join the Elliot and Jose show every Tuesday. At the moment, we're doing this. And then the ones that don't work, then, just bin them. That's it. But in the end, you're going to create those vignettes that then you can plug in whenever you need them to illustrate the points that will create a powerful presentation. That will be my wrap up, Elliot K. Anything else to add to it? And then we say ciao to these lovely people.
I want to say, if you want to stand out, if you want to be distinct, if you want to get paid a lot of money, if you want to be perceived as an expert, learn to tell great stories. If you want to be more giraffe, become a great storyteller. To the next episode.
Woo! Ciao, people.
You've been listening to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot K. and Jose Ucar. Follow us on Instagram and join us next week for even more. Remember to always speak your greatness. Subscribe, rate, and comment.